Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be ignoring the spooky side of the month just for a little while and focusing more on the Preptober side of this month, because I feel like I've been ignoring Preptober quite a lot because I went so heavy on it last year, and I'm sorry, things have been a bit high-strung and stressful lately, and that is actually tying into today's topic. We are going to be looking at how to deal with the stress that Preptober brings. Oh, and there's a lot of it. Okay, so what I mean by how to deal with the stress of Preptober, this is more my ways of dealing with the stress of Preptober, because I do have a lot of anxiety and that can bring a lot of stress. I try to keep this focus that NaNoWriMo is supposed to be the fun part, the creative part, where you can just go crazy and start writing and things that, it just brings things that you can feel accomplished. Whereas Preptober is the stressful time because it's all about planning and prepping and trying to get all of those little bugs out of your drafts just so you can run at the starting point and all that analogy stuff that my brain is too frazzled to think about right now, but you get the idea. Preptober is meant to be stressful. NaNoWriMo is also completely filled with its own stresses, but it's supposed to be the more creative part of things, so that is a video for another day. Today, stress about Preptober. One of the things I like to do right at the beginning of Preptober, and this has been the same for a lot of events, not just Preptober, not just Nano, but also whenever there is a big event or a big thing, a big month coming my way, I like to plan. I have my big piece of paper where I have a little square designated to every day of that month and all the things that I need to get done on those days. It just makes me feel like I have a bit more control. It makes me feel like I can see everything that is going to happen. And that's the thing, I am fully aware that things are going to change. God knows they have already, and I've had to draw big lines through my plans and cross stuff out and shift things around. It doesn't really help when it comes to the long-term stress, but in that moment you just have this moment of relief because you can see everything on the paper. But something I also like to do that helps deal with the stress is once I've written down my plan, I also have my backup plan. So what I mean by that is I'll have my piece of paper divided into squares of, you know, this is this week, this is that week, and all the rest of it. But then I have my backup plan, where say I know on one day I'll need to write like 2,000 words, or I'll need to write a couple of reviews so that I have some stocked up for later. If I know that things might change, then I also have those things circled in 3 other days as well, just so if I failed one, I know I can still do it by these other times and it's not going to affect things too much. Again, it tries to give me a little bit of foresight, tries to give me a little bit more understanding that if things change, then I'm not going to be sitting there thinking, oh my god, it's the end of the world, I have to change everything that I've planned for is being thrown out the window, oh my god, because I have my backup plans. It just gives me something, a little bit of breathing room, I suppose, because then you're not stressing out by tying yourself down to one plan. And it's the same with goals as well. I do this for NaNoWriMo. I have my word count goals, but then I also have my backup goals. If I don't quite reach my word count, I have other goals that I would like to reach, and that helps because it still makes me feel like I've accomplished something. It still makes me feel like, okay, you didn't do this, but look at all this other stuff you did, and it's a relief. Honestly, I sound stressed just talking about it, but that is not the vibe I'm going for. Another thing I like to do to deal with the stress is, again, working in with this planning. If I have this plan and my backup plan, I also like to plan for days off. What I mean by that is I am trying not to be afraid to schedule in when I would like there to be a chill day where I don't even look at my laptop, or a day where I can have a few hours just to read, or I can have a few hours of just, you know, maybe getting back into baking or something like that, because baking is one of my big de-stresses, and I know you've seen some of my baking videos. and I look stressed the entire time. And I do get stressed while baking, but it's a detox stress. If I'm so stressed about the baking, I'm not stressed about anything else. But then I have a sweet treat at the end of it, so the stress was worth it. It's my own messed up little brain that has formed this system. But I like to plan for those days, and then because of the backup plans, if I have something that's moved around and I'm like, oh, I was going to have a day off today, but now I can't have a day off because my plan is shifted around, I have those backup days where I can be like, okay, I'll just swap these two and this will be my day off and this will be the day that I get this done, and it's all gonna be okay. I like having these backup plans because backup plans are lifesavers. Nothing is ever done right on the first go. Also, don't feel guilty about having a day off, even if it's not planned. If you're just sitting there one day and you're thinking, okay, I've got my draft all planned out, I've got this character arc planned out, I'm pretty much ready, but there's still some character tropes that I need to figure out, there's still a couple of plot holes that are poking their heads up and just driving me crazy, but I'm just not feeling it today, but I need to do it, and oh my god, and all that stressful stuff, then just don't be afraid to take a step back and understand, okay, I am stressed, I need a break. It doesn't have to be a long break. It can just be for an hour, a couple of hours, just so you can chill and do something else. Don't beat yourself up about it, because that's one of my biggest issues, is that if I do take time off for something, or if I realize one day my brain is just not focusing to get this plan finished or to get this story arc completed, if I'm registering, my brain is not going to be doing this today. I am really trying to understand when I need to take a step back and do something else, because something I realized, especially with going through lockdown and having nothing else to do but force myself to write as if it was a full-on like 9-to-5 job, forcing myself through it just makes my creativity crumble, and then you force your way through that, but then you're not happy with anything you're writing, and then you're not happy with anything you're planning, and then it's a downward spiral. Understanding that you need to take a break is fine. It's okay. I'm mostly talking to myself here because I'm still trying to convince myself that it's okay. But it is okay to understand when you're feeling stressed and that you need the time off. It's fine. It is okay. Just do it. It's okay. The world's not going to end and your book's still going to be there the next day. You're good. You're good. I really like venting and talking. Well, that's a lie. I really like venting and ranting. That's what I should say. But actually, having the opportunity to sit down and talk, I feel really awkward. If I'm ever like, oh, this thing's bothering me, I feel like I am bothering other people. And to be honest, YouTube has really helped with that, because I can unload all of this and not have to worry about someone being in the room with me, like, you know, glazing over or anything like that. What happened to the camera there? I don't have to worry about anyone glazing over or me feeling like, oh god, this person's gonna leave because I'm really boring them. Oh my god, because it's a video, and if you guys want to switch off and leave, you can switch off and leave. It's fine. If you want to leave a comment and start a conversation with me, that's great. But if I'm boring you, you can just switch off, and it's okay, because I'm here and you're there, and it's all good. But at the same time, I do like having that back and forth, and I've really tried. I will always say, don't be afraid to voice your opinions and voice your concerns about your own writing and your creativity, because it will really help. And I still feel awkward saying that, because being a creative person and then trying to drag someone into a conversation about your work is terrifying. But at the same time, having that back and forth, being able to talk to someone about your work, and maybe if you're lucky, have them talk about their work, and having the back and forth, it just really helps, because you can get all of your stresses and worries out in the open, and they can do the same, and you can build off of each other. But at the same time, it can be stressful when you're talking about the work that you're stressed about. So you can talk about it and build off each other and have a solution, but then sometimes you just don't want to talk about your work. So just having someone to talk to and say, hey, I'm stressed, do you want to do something? Hey, I'm stressed, do you want to play a game? Hey, I'm stressed, do you want to talk about this book that, Jesus Christ. Do you see that fly? What was I saying? Yeah, just having someone to talk to about stuff that isn't your writing can also be that break away from your own mind that you need, because then you're distracted, you're having fun, you're doing fine, you're doing something completely different, so you've got fresh eyes when you come back to your work. Talking is good. Now, this one is going to be slightly controversial, simply because Preptober is supposed to be about, planning and obviously prepping and getting everything that you need ready for NaNoWriMo, so that when NaNoWriMo comes around, you have everything in order and you can just go and absolutely smash those word counts and hopefully write an entire book. I completely get it. However, just focusing on one thing for an entire month can be stressful. However, you then include Preptober into that, and that is 2 months. 2 months where you are only thinking about one thing, and that can be twice as stressful. And you haven't had a break, and you haven't had someone to talk to, and you haven't had that moment away so you can just detox before you get back into it. You've already overloaded yourself before the work has even really begun. So this little controversial thing that I do to try and help with the stress is you have a hobby. And I know a lot of you are thinking, there is no time for hobbies when it comes to Preptober and NaNoWriMo. There is no time for anything but writing. Writing could very well be my hobby. How dare you suggest I add something else to my list? What is wrong with you? And there are many things wrong with me, but that is not what we're here to talk about right now. No, you need something. You need something that is away from writing. Even if writing is your hobby and your escapism and your safe place, any safe place can still get overwhelming, and I feel that big time. There is nothing I enjoy more than coming home from a stressful day of work and having the escapism of writing these wacky characters in this weird situation and just running with it. It is great. But I am fully aware that writing also comes with its own stresses, as does any hobby, as does any job, as does any career, as does any goal. It just is what it is. So having something that is completely non-writing related as a hobby for you to fall back on, so you have something ready for you to de-stress, is good. For me, I really love baking. I love baking cakes, I love baking cookies, brownies, you name it. I like it. It's something that de-stresses me. That is my hobby, as well as gaming and reading. I am lucky enough to have these hobbies to fall back on if I'm not happy with writing in that moment. I can turn around and say to Tom, hey, do you want to do a couple of runs of this game with me? Or I can just go into the kitchen and be like, I'm making cookies today because why not? Oh, I haven't picked up a book in ages. This is where I left off. Let's just do it for an hour. Let's just read for an hour where I don't have to think about writing. And you need to incorporate those hobbies, planning for those hobbies, if you will. You need to have those in your plan. You need to have those on standby. You need to have something where you just can switch your mind off for a while and you don't have to think about writing. And then when you do come back to writing, you are calm, you are refreshed, it is all good. I know that so many people have this mindset of, no, Preptober and Nano are writing and writing based only. There is no time for anything else. But that is a very easy trap to fall into. One that I have fallen into many a time. You just need time to relax and do something else just for a little bit. Even if it's just an hour, just so you're not overworking yourself and you're not burning yourself out and you're not pushing yourself too hard, because I've been there and it's not fun. And then that is how you end up taking like months of writing hiatus and then have no clue how to get back into a routine. I'm there now. It's not fun. Have a hobby, have a break, have someone to talk to. It's okay. It's okay. Those are things that I do to try and de-stress, and I feel so amped up talking about it. This probably looks like the most stressed out anti-stress video, but I am serious about what I've said. It is okay to take breaks. I like taking breaks. I like incorporating breaks into my plans and my backup plans, because then I feel like I'm in control and I am already aware that I'm going to burn myself out at some point, because that is just what my brain does, and I'm trying to backtrack it. I'm trying to get better at forming a routine, and routine, no matter what the routine is focusing on, does include breaks and hobbies and fun and things that will just rejuvenate you, just the smallest amounts that you don't pass out at your laptop while you're in the middle of NaNoWriMo. Find someone to talk to, just open up and try and squash down that anxiety as much as you can, and sometimes you just can't, which is fair enough, but sometimes it is good to just breathe. Those have been little things to help me when I'm stressed during Nano, and I hope they've helped you, or at least, you know, I hope you find this video entertaining. Let me know what you do to try and de-stress during Preptober and NaNoWriMo, and what are some things that really stress you out, and just how do you deal, because I don't think I'm dealing very well at all. Probably shouldn't be admitting that in an anti-stress video, but you know, I like to be honest with you guys, and that is me being honest. But anyway, I need to get back to my plan, because once again things have changed. It has changed again. Because of course it has. I hope you're staying safe, I hope you're doing well, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye, my scribblers.